So Scrawlrbox came in. This is box 104. And as you can hear by my voice, I still sound like I've been ran over by a cheese grater, which, for the last 2 weeks, I've had a cold. So this coming through the front door actually made me really excited. Let's see what's in this box. Okay. Does this give any indication as to what the box is about? Because my first thought is water-soluble lead. What's this? Okay. We have an art print. More watercolour paper. This is hot-pressed watercolour paper as well. I don't know whether you can see. Hot-pressed watercolour paper. 200 GSM. And there's 10 sheets of it. Okay. So this artist is Maisie Summer. I really like this because you can tell that there's loads of different textures being used. This seems like watercolour pencils. That's my guess. Watercolour pencils. Let's see if I'm correct. I'm never going to save the sticker. Never. I want to save the sticker, but I can't. No. Ooh, okay. This sweet. It's a Chupa Chups stick. I've never seen these. These are very new to me. I've never seen these about in the shops at all. So, okay, it's like a strawberry pencil, but it's cola flavored, which is interesting. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. This actually tastes pretty well. And considering my taste buds are like kind of okay right now, I can actually taste the cola. Okay, let's remove this from the paper. Oh, the sticker's a little bit bent, but it's still a really pretty sticker. I really like the way the sticker looks. I think that that is an awesome sticker. So we have some zinc white gouache. White gouache is great for highlights. It's also great for making pastel tones.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Then we have the Pro Art white nylon brush in size 2. Oh, that seems like it's going to be a good brush. And the main ticket item is these Derwent fine art pencils. There's 6 of them. It feels like we should have had a pencil with this as well. Please don't go back to the missing art supply trope. Oh. These, it says that these are the fine art pencils, but like these are Inktense. Inktense pencils I have not had in a while. I used to have a box of Inktense pencils ages ago, so they look different to the ones that I used to have. Okay, ignore the fact that this is a Prismacolor tin. It has my water-soluble pencil crayons in them. As you can see, I have the Inktense pencils. These are really, really old. Like, when I say really old, I mean really old. Like, over a decade kind of old. The ones that I already have of these are so old that the details have rubbed off, and I don't know if they used to just be lighter in general, but like the new ones, you can tell that they have a darker, more deeper tone. But yeah, I was expecting at least this box to have some indication that there'd be Inktense pencils in there, because Inktense is one of those Derwent sub-brands that like they should have more marketing towards. I don't know, maybe it's a Scrawlrbox thing to like make the pencils fit in the box a bit better, I don't know. Or the fact that they've ordered certain colours from Derwent for the boxes, I don't know. But these are the supplies in the box. Let's take a look at the zine. So we have the art supplies. A bit about the artist, Maisie Summer. Some scrawler tips. Watercolour pencils are definitely an interesting take for a box. Deep dive and layer up. So we have tips and tricks and tutorials, artist advice behind the artwork, Summer's Store, that's what it's called. Okay, so here we have Fire and Ice. I really enjoyed this box. This was box 102. All beautiful artwork though. I really like this kind of yin and yang of like the fire and ice. That's really clever. So the top 3. Oh, I really love that one. I don't know, that's definitely my style for sure. I love that one. I really love the texture and the effects that they managed to get here. So pretty. Okay, Maisie's collection. This is a very different extra page. A 14B pencil? Oh my god. Like, that's in her collection, a 14B pencil. I've never ever heard of any pencils going up to 14B. That's insane! Oh my god. The theme is hodgepodge. Scrawlers, what's in stock today? This month's box is all about documenting a patchwork of possessions. Take inspiration from our featured artist by collecting your thoughts, a mishmash of items or ingredients of your day. Shop front or jumble sale, however you wish to display your wares. Plan, sketch, mark make and paint with all the supplies included to bring your collection to life. I thought I would read the description out this time because when I've watched back my previous Scrawlrbox videos, it's really helped me understand the prompt a bit better. But yeah, let's take a look at these supplies. Let's zoom out. I really wish that there was like a regular pencil in here. Hell, even that 14B pencil, I still cannot get it out of my head. The fact that in this artist's collection, there was a 14B pencil. Like, some of these things would have been great in this box. That would have made so much sense to include at least one extra item in here. So we do actually have somewhat of a rainbow here. So over here we have Pink Flamingo. The use of these pencils hasn't really changed all that much over the 10 years. For me, watercolour pencils are more of like an accessory to watercolour. I've done the swatches like this just so you can see what texture it gets, the full colour payoff, and the second one is going to be watered down. I personally feel like a size 4 brush would have been better for this. The brush is nice, don't get me wrong, it's just, it feels like the size is off. Because with these pencils, you want to have like a decent amount of water on your brush, and smaller brushes, they don't keep water in the brush for very long. So here we have Orange Sorbet. This is a very, very pretty colour. I really like this colour. If I don't sound genuine, it's because honestly, my voice is slowly dying during filming this video. But I'm actually really enjoying these pencils. Like, getting to know these pencils again after many, many years is a very surreal feeling for me. The worst part about this cold is I've had this cold for 2 weeks now. I just want it to end. Please. Oh, that's a really pretty orange. But yeah, this brush definitely feels like it should have been bigger. The next colour we have is Lime Green. What is Scrawlrbox, or like what is Brand's problem with like not including yellow? Like, even the Viviva watercolours did not have a yellow. Like, come on. Come on, I just want a yellow. This is like the second time where there's just been no yellow in a box, which sucks. And yellow is one of those colours. And I said this in Box 102's video. Yellow is such an essential colour for colour mixing. I'm currently sick and I'm sat here complaining about the fact that Scrawlrbox, or even like any of these brands, are just like, where's the yellow? Why are you so afraid of yellow? How do you even say this? Olivine? Olivine? I don't know. It's this green. Is this green colour? This should have been yellow, not lime green. I will die in that hill. Considering this is hot press paper, you are actually getting some texture out of this, which isn't a bad thing. I'm constantly having to dip back into my water bucket just to try and get more water on this brush. This is a nice green. This is like a very mossy kind of green. I can see this colour being really, really useful for drawing like plants and stuff like that. Like getting the colours with plants. Oh my god, my voice is like just dying here. Then we have Iron Blue. I'm pretty sure this is one of the colours that I used to have as well. Not that I'd know, because all of the labels have decided to rub off over the years. Oh, this is really dark. This would be a really, really good black substitute, I think. Ooh. This blue explodes with colour. Oh my gosh. Look at that blue. That's like vivid. The dry versions of these colours do not do them any justice. Like especially the Iron Blue. Oh my gosh. I'm also really interested about the mixing capabilities of these as well. That was something that was mentioned in the zine as well. So we'll see. We'll see how we get on with the zine as well. Last colour we have to swatch is Baked Earth. That brown has like a nice orangey undertone. So let's zoom out. Don't know if I should really swatch this. I'm pretty sure I already have Aquafine Gouache. So I will say Daler Rowney is like more of a student brand rather than a professional brand. Or at least that's how I've always pictured it. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just it's more an affordable brand, and this is not covering anything. It's not really being opaque. Like, it's so watery. If I had to hazard a guess, I don't think that Maisie Summers would use this. Especially with how opaque she's managed to get it. Just, it seems like this is impossible to get really opaque. And I'm using it over the dry swatches, by the way. Oh my god, this gouache is, for a lack of a better word, crap. And I'm using this like straight out of the tube as well. Look at it, like, ew. Like straight out the tube, it should be the most vibrant. It's not. Oh my god, this is awful. I'm sure I've had Daler Rowney gouache before, like, and it was so much better than this. What the hell? I'm so confused. Yeah, so in this box are my other brands of gouache. So these are either been brought or I got them from old Scrawlrboxes. So this, you can see that there's Daler Rowney stuff like underneath here. These Daler Rowney stuff are from a previous Scrawlrbox. This is titanium white, so okay, it's not exactly the same white, but let's see how they compare. I'm aware I have to mix it up because of the fillers, like, they can separate over time. I think to give it a fair chance, I'm going to take the paintbrush and mix them both up. So this one is the old one, and it's titanium white, and as you can see, it's already marking my fingers with how opaque it is. This is how I expect my gouache to work. It's supposed to be so white it covers up my mistakes. This is how I expected that gouache to work. Not this loose, light sheen that muddies the colour. This stuff is definitely more watery than the titanium white. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's way more watery. So now that I've mixed it in the tube, you can tell instantly that it's more watery. Like, it has helped. Mixing the colour in the tube with the end of the paintbrush has helped with the opacity, but it's nowhere near the opacity of the titanium white. I don't want to have to use other supplies, but I think in this case, I'm just going to have to. They say they both are full coverage. That's a lie. This is a lie. You can tell that they both have the same pigment in there, so PW6. But the zinc has PW5 mixed in as well. And I don't know whether that is just making it so much more runny, but it's making it horrible to work with. I'm so sick at the moment, I'm not letting my artwork suffer for the fact that this paint is like really bad. I'm not. I refuse. And since this came from a previous Scrawlrbox, it counts as something that was in the Scrawlrbox. So there you go. You can see how runny it is. Gouache shouldn't be like that. This little dot here came from the titanium white, and this is like the filler that came out of the top when it wasn't mixed together. And even that does not move as much as like the zinc white. Also, it's sticky. This isn't even dried yet. Like the titanium white and the zinc white, like here is a comparison down here. It's all over my fingernails. You can see a comparison between the two. This one, the zinc white, it's still sticky, it's still not dry, and you'd think with it going on thinner that it will be dry sooner. It's not. The titanium white is already dry. Like, it's dry to the touch and it's opaque. Whoever decided for 006 zinc white to be the colour in this box, no. Time out corner. Inktense pencils, great idea. This brush could have been like a different size of brush. It could have been like a size 4. Still a nice brush. I will use it in the future for details in a piece. This gouache paint, get it out. Like, I don't like it. I literally threw it on the floor. I hate it so much. I'm using this gouache because I'm not ruining a piece of artwork. It's the same brand. It came in a different Scrawlrbox. I'm not justifying it anymore. But yeah, that one will be in use, whereas the other one will remain on the floor where it belongs.
Now we get on to the sketching process. At first, I had no idea what I wanted, but then I thought, hey, I am doing a project for the Immersive Arts Bootcamp based on my old webcomic, Interconnected, and that's all about Loca's big mystery and a prequel story to the current timeline. And a part of that project is I've got to think of all these like little clutter items that I have to make 3D models of, or at least get assets of 3D models to like place in the space and build up an environment. And I have a list of so many different items, collectibles, clutter, items that you interact with as well, and figuring out all these game mechanics. It was such an extensive list that I thought, why not just draw the things that are on this list and how I imagine them to be? And it kind of turned into a Loca themed hodgepodge of items. So this is where you can see me mixing the colours together, trying to get different variations of colours for this piece. Now, watercolour pencils I tend to treat as an accessory to regular watercolours, usually using them on top or just to add texture or detail here and there. I've never actually used them as like a full-on paint like this before, and it is possible. It takes forever because you have to melt down all the pencil lead into a workable wash to use like regular watercolours. During the swatches, I kind of criticised the brush a little bit. For mixing the colours, it is terrible. But for actually painting, it worked really well for all the itty bitty little details. In this sketchbook, I actually really enjoyed it and I used it quite a lot. I think we probably could have used 2 brushes, one being a bigger brush just to mix the colours together, and also being able to have bigger washes just in general. Something else I would have liked in this box is possibly an ink pen, one of those ink roller pens that you can actually, if you're quick enough, water down and create like this ink wash effect. And I feel like that would have been really good with this box because it kind of emphasized the whole journaling aspect, like sketch journaling. Also, this box, in my opinion, blatantly missing supplies. Blatantly. It's just, there was clearly something missing here. An extra pen, an extra brush, I don't think would have gone too far. And that's the thing about Scrawlrbox that is really starting to irritate me, is the fact that they're constantly missing the mark. It's like they get close, but it's not quite there. It's like they trip over the final hurdle every single time. The only box that I've actually enjoyed to its fullest is box 103, which was the last one. That is because when I felt like I wanted an extra supply to neaten it up, to add something that would make it pop, it was there in the box. The fine liner in the previous box was there to neaten it up, and the white gel pen was there to give it an extra pop of colour. This box just did not have anything to neaten up anything. Maybe this box could have come with, say, a mechanical pencil or something like that. It's really, really frustrating because I want to like these boxes. I want them to be the best that they can be. However, it just constantly feels like something is missing, and that's such a shame because that never used to be the case at all. It really does give the impression that the art supplies aren't tested ahead of time, and they aren't really tested together with the theme either. It's almost as if the boxes are just thrown together. I know they're not, but it just feels like it sometimes, especially when they miss the mark, the theme goes wrong. Like, there's always something that is the matter. I think the one thing that needs to be done is the art supplies tested together, because it can't just be down to the artists who get the box in its final form just to be the people as guinea pigs testing these things. For me personally, in this particular box, the gouache was a crime. Down below in the comments, I want to know if you've had box 104, whether you actually experienced the problem with this gouache. Just, for me, it really did not work. I hated it so much. I have never had such a visceral reaction to an art supply. As for the basis of this illustration, I'm not sure if many people knew that I had a comic called Interconnected on Webtoon. It ran for 12 chapters, also known as episodes on Webtoon, and I did have more chapters planned, but never got around to them. So having this project be breathed new life into in various different ways, this Scrawlrbox illustration for one, and the foundation for building a game for the Immersive Arts Bootcamp, I think is kind of inspired. It does mean, however, that any content that I had in mind to be scheduled, or like any content I'm doing in general, just got completely moved back because this course is like 12 weeks and it's quite intensive. Not as intense as the very first bootcamp, but I'm still putting a lot of time and effort into learning new programs like Blender and Unreal Engine 5, all in the process to try and make a prototype game which is based around the setting of my webcomic Interconnected. So before I show you the final piece, I thought I would show you my colour mixing. This was the colour mixing chart I did off camera, but it also shows you how bad the original gouache dried. Like, gouache is supposed to dry matte, not shiny like this. It is awful. But these are the colours that I managed to mix from these colours here. And this is what it looks like. I will zoom in on all the details because I feel like that's where this box kind of shines in a way. It gave you a really, really small detail brush, and obviously with watercolour pencils, it kind of goes hand in hand with doing more finer details or being an accessory to the main watercolour. Now you can see that this is very defined, and that is because I used a ink ball roller to define it. I was already using a different gouache, but I thought, well, since I do not want the artwork to suffer for either a missing or just terrible art supply, I thought just why not do this artwork the way I intend it to be. And this type of supply I feel like was the missing piece to this box. This box was kind of going for a little bit of a visual journaling sort of vibe, and I actually did some visual journaling for my holiday last year in this actual sketchbook. I can actually show you what it looks like. And I did use my black pen to help define and neaten up some bits and pieces. So this is the start of my visual journal. I was using my gouache as well as my watercolour here. And you can see I went all out with like the pen as well. The inclusion of an ink pen would really give you some different looks and some variation on things, and an ability to neaten up the piece of artwork as well. That's what I feel like was missing from this box. But you can see the artwork for this piece kind of takes a similar vibe to my visual journaling I did on holiday, but it goes in a little bit more detail, mainly because it is on my character universe, and this is based on Loka, and you can see all like the visual details of like the flowers, and you've got a key, and you've got a cup filled with this green stuff. It very much relates back to my pieces I've done with Loka before on Camilla and Nicholas and their poisonous relationship. So there's definitely references to other pieces of artwork in this. There's also like little quotes here and there, so like a mother's love, that could be Loki's mother's love, being so sweet, but it could also be Camilla's love towards Nicholas, which is very opportunistic. It's all interconnected as a reference to my webcomic. You've got Loki's name, like potion bottles, and you have the kingdom emblem of an hourglass, a gramophone, some pearls as well, a chess piece in the shape of a castle, so a rook, a dripping moon, a little lamp, a globe, a pocket watch. This composition was quite a bit of fun. I enjoyed it. Definitely different from what I'm used to doing, but that's what I've always felt like these boxes do. They kind of help you push the boat out when it comes to making a piece of artwork, get you to experiment more, try out supplies you might not have ever heard of before, or try a combination of supplies that you never really would have thought of. And that's the detriment of this box, I think. There wasn't really a combination of supplies at all. You had some absolutely garbage working gouache alongside some watercolour pencils that, yeah, were great, but a second larger brush would have actually helped with the mixing capabilities and the ability to create larger washes with this medium. To show you what I mean, if you're quick enough with these pens, you can actually water them down and create a really, really nice wash. I would recommend having the paintbrush ready to go when you're doing this though. You can see that you can create a wash and you can actually make the pen bleed. You can also draw into an area of water and you can see the pen is like reacting with the area of water and it's bleeding. And this could have had so many really lovely visual effects that this box could have taken advantage of. I'd love to know what your opinion is on any missing art supplies, what your opinions were on this box if you've had it, or even if you haven't had it, do you think this box was worth it? Of this 6-box subscription, I have one more box to go, and will it be worth it? We will find out in the next Scrawlrbox video together, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys!